Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Reed here, and I'm back again today with yet another tutorial review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Beyblade product. Only one product for this video, and that is Beyblade Burst Rise HyperSphere. Yes, I know the box is a bit bad. This is Monster Ogre 05 and an Engaard E5, also known as Engaard E4 and Monster Ogre. So this one's kind of interesting because this is Monster Ogre, the highlight of this double pack, is the follow-up to the Beyblade Burst Sling Shock Ogre 04, which is pretty cool. So obviously you kind of just saw that I got all the Beyblades for comparisons off screen there. So we have Beyblade Burst Rise right there. We have the recolor of Orb Aegis or Orb Engaard. And then we get Monster Ogre right there. Again, the highlight of the set. And as you can see, we got the instructions in there. No launcher or anything with these sets, guys. Just FYI. So we have Monster Ogre right there with the GT chip. We have the layer base monster right there. We have the disc, the forged disc, and we also get the HyperSphere driver, which is really cool. And then for this one, we just get the layer, disc, and driver. So, nice. So we get a defense type, and we get an attack type in this. And there's the stats. But again, don't bother reading those because they are, as I keep saying, rubbish. So anyway, with that being said, let's start off with the highlight of the set. Starting with the chip, if I can remember how to get these ones out. Oh yeah, that's how you do it on this one. You just push it out. All right. I'm so used to how you do it now with with Surge / Sparking. I'm so used to how those work now since I've been doing so many reviews on those. Which, by the way, I do got 2 more products coming on the way. For at the time of this recording, they're going to be around like the first week or so of May. I'll be getting those, so definitely expect reviews on those soon. But anyway, enough about that. Enough shameless plugging of my own stuff. So we'll start off with the chip here anyways. Moving back to the review, which is Ogre. So really, really nice. Again, it is pretty much the exact same as the original Ogre, except now it has 2 heads on it, and it's now in chip form. And I do like the details on here, with one sort of snarling with his mouth open, the other one just kind of ominously staring off at the other one. So that's kind of nice. Now for a quick comparison, here is the original Ogre 04, or Ogre, so you guys can see how those two look together. Very, very similar, with the sort of black and again the red, so that's really nice. I don't know why they didn't bother to paint the teeth or the tooth silver, but whatever. Yeah, that's typical Hasbro, not including detail in their stuff. What a surprise. Yeah, it's kind of baffling they put as much detail into this as they did, as they sometimes do with some bays. It's really a shame though with Hasbro. We've been with this. I've been with their system of stuff for so long, and still they can't be bothered to put some effort into the detailing of their products. Shame. Anyway, enough of my silly ranting. Let's move back into the layer base, which is Monster. And Monster is really, really nice. We have the black and the green there. Now, again, we did see this again later in the Extreme Challenger battle set. And it was released with the combo Monster Devilos, which, again, we'll be doing comparisons with that in a moment here. But still, for what it is, Monster is actually a pretty nice base, with the sort of horns representing the horns of Ogre, of course, which is more like Devil to me, but whatever. And then we have the sort of extra spikes to it, so it's very Valkyrie-like in the sort of the design. And actually, you'd be surprised that Monster is actually very, very good in battles. I've actually tested, not this particular combo it's on, but the Monster Devilos combo of this. We've got the Extreme Challenger set, like right after the review I did of it way back last year, last Christmas, by the way. So definitely go check that out if you want to go see that. May put a link in the description if I remember to do it, of course. But you know, still good for attack. So very, very happy with Monster. I thought it was going to be weak, but surprisingly, it's actually decent in attack. So putting the chip back on here, there you have your layer of Monster Ogre. It looks very, very nice. Do quite like that. And again, we do get the QR code on the back to scan it into the game. So that's really nice right there. There's Monster Ogre. Next we get the ring here, which is, I believe this is called, oh god. Can't remember what the name of this disc was. Hang on, it's coming to me. Outer. There we go. Outer. Sorry, it completely slipped my mind, but for a second, had a brain fart. But Outer, really, really nice disc. It has the sort of Omega symbol on it, which is very, very nice. And this initially debuted in 2017's Beyblade Burst God with Orichalcum Outer Octa. So, cool stuff. And that actually leads nicely into the driver of this bay, which is Octa, actually. Kind of funny that I hinted at the driver already by describing Outer. So, but in this one, they call it, in Hasbro's terms, they call it Octave. For some godforsaken reason, they decided to change the name. Why? It was fine. Why'd you change it to Octave? Now it sounds silly. I don't know. So I'm going to call it Octa because that's the original name. So Octa is quite nice. The only things I don't like about this, like most HyperSphere drivers, is that the gimmicks are stripped. One of which being the metal. So on the Japanese release, all of this right here, all this little bits around the tip would all be die-cast metal, which made this piece very, very heavy for Beyblade Burst God. Not only that, but it made it one of the highest selling pieces at auction for Beyblade Burst, because my god, this driver was amazing for competitive. Yes, you'd be surprised to know that yes, there are real-life Beyblade tournaments, just like in the anime, and yes, it is absolutely ridiculous, I know. How the heck can tops like these have a battle like a real-life tournaments? Well, you'd be surprised. They do hold them. They've been holding them for years, actually. But anyway, this part was really, really good for competitive. Now, for the Hasbro HyperSphere format, it's absolute rubbish. Except for the fact that its attack is actually very, very good, unlike the original, which was intended as a stamina driver. So it's kind of funny that stamina driver has now been completely just deflowered into this manifestation, this disgusting manifestation of a thing, and just it's just so bad. I'm sorry, but it is. In terms of Takara accuracy, this thing's garbage. But in terms of HyperSphere, it's actually really good for attack, surprisingly, even though, again, it was never designed for that. It was designed as the ultimate stamina driver, at least in my opinion, I thought it was. Now it's just a really good attack driver, so that's kind of funny. And it is nice, and it is a nice black, I can't speak. And we have the nice little logo for Octa right there, which is basically just the tip of the actual driver itself. So that's pretty nice. So we do get the bay all combined right here, and here's the full combo of Monster Ogre, Outer, Octave, or Octa. So really, really nice. Now quickly before we transition into the next Beyblade, let's do some comparisons, starting with Monster Ogres, you guys. Monster Devilos, I'm sorry. So that way you guys can see how these two look together. Again, nice to see Octave again in red. And yes, Octave, I believe, debuted with this Beyblade, so that's pretty cool. Or Octa. Next, we'll compare it to a Solar Sphinx, which I got in the Battle Heroes 3-pack that was on Amazon, so that's really cool. Now, this guy does come on his own in singles, but again, there's no real difference between that and the Battle Heroes version, so just FYI for those who are wondering, oh, are they different? No, they're not. They're the exact same. Next, we'll bring in, this is Cosmo Kraken. So there you go. With, I believe the pieces for this one were Lore, and I believe the driver was Banshee or something like that. No, it was, oh god, I forget what the driver was called. I believe it was called Venture or something like that. I cannot remember what it was called. But still, really cool to see these. Next, we will bring in, what is this? Here. Crap. Accidentally took it apart. I did not mean to do that. Sorry, guys. That was probably really loud on your ears, so rip headphone users. Here is Tact Leviathan for GTs. You guys can see how these two look together. And again, this came out in Surge, so it had the Surge Speedstorm thing on it. If you watched the review on that, that is. And then next and last of the Hasbro comparisons, and I had this upside down the whole time. There we go. Here we have Viper Hydrax. So you guys can see how those two look with Python and Coil. Again, probably the coolest names for any Hasbro exclusive parts. It's just a shame that Coil's kind of mediocre. But, you know, but to be completely honest with you guys, most of these Surge Speedstorm drivers are... Surge Speedstorm, God. What is it? Rise HyperSphere. Most of the Rise HyperSphere drivers are absolute rubbish. So, you know... Except, of course, if they're in their own stadium. Any other stadium in there, just complete garbage. But anyway. So here we have the next Beyblade right here, which is Orb Aegis right here. So let's take it apart. Let's go part by part. Starting with the layer here, which again is Orb Aegis, or Orb Engaard. And it does look quite nice. I do like this clash of purplish, black, green, silver, gold, and a little bit of a solid green for the eyes, which is really cool. So again, just like the previous Orb Aegis release, that was again released as a 2-pack exclusive for Hasbro, so that's fun. This guy does not have the gimmicks of the metal or the metal ball gimmick as well. That's included stripped on this version, which thankfully Pro Series was nice enough to fix that for us and give us a proper release, which leads nicely into comparisons real quick, which we're going to compare this real quick with the original Orb Aegis or Orb Engaard for this was in Sling Shock, and then this one was HyperSphere. So there you go. So you can see how those two look. So again, and just real quick for anybody who's asking, oh, this is the same thing as the other one. Why is it called Engaard E5? Doesn't that mean it's an evolution? No, it's not. The reason why some of these re-releases come with the names of like E5 or F5 or whatever the case is because how Hasbro does their naming shtick is that the 5 represents the system that they're in. So, for example, the original single layer or burst system version of Valkyrie is counted as V1, I guess, because the next one up is V2 because it's released in dual layers, V3 because it's in God layers. You get it. V4, V5, all that stuff. So that's why they have these the first letter of the Bay's name and 5 or whatever number system it's in. That's what that is. So just to avoid any confusion, real quick. And then next for comparisons, we're going to bring in the Pro Series Orb Aegis or Orb Engaard, so you guys can see how those two look right there. Very nice. Again, Hasbro, thank you so much for giving us a proper Orb Aegis. That's amazing. But again, I've already gushed over my praises for the Pro Series one. So I'm gonna let you guys I'm gonna spare you guys that, and you guys can go back to the original review if you guys would like to see my initial impressions on the Pro Series version, which is, as I said, absolutely amazing. And so next we get the disc, which is 7. I don't know why we're getting pieces as far back as 2017 in 2020. What was that, Hasbro? So we get 7 right there, which again was initially released with Legend Spriggan / Legend Sprisen in 2017. Again, Hasbro, why? Why these old parts? These are no good anymore. They're old and they're crap. You have much better discs now. And not to mention we have chassis now. Like, there's no point of discs anymore, really. So, I won't be surprised if by the next season, surprisingly not Dynamite Battle, I was expecting by this season they would get rid of discs entirely, but no, surprisingly they're still doing them. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, lastly here we get the driver, which is Banshee. Now I believe Banshee initially debuted with a single pack of Morigna M5, I believe is what this guy came with, of where this driver initially debuted in. And now it's returned in green, which is really nice. So again, right here we have the logo for Banshee, which is BN for Banshee, so that's cool. And surprisingly, for such a interesting name as Banshee, the driver doesn't do very much. Again, as I keep saying, most of these bays, and here's the complete comment, by the way, of Orb Aegis E5. But back to what I was saying, most of the drivers in Rise HyperSphere are rubbish in battle. I'm sorry, but they are. If you're not using them in the proper stadiums, like if you're using them in like the Takara Basic Stadium or heck, even the Pro Series Stadium, they are rubbish. Garbo, poopy, just have us all around just bad. So there you go. Absolute pile of garbage. Some of these drivers are. But again, for a quick comparison, we're going to compare this to the original, not original, this is the original Orb Aegis combo, so you can see with Outer and I believe this is Quest. Yeah, Quest Slingshot, which again, I hate this driver. But anyway, go back to my initial review of this Beyblade for my initial thoughts on it, because again, rubbish. The original. But anyway, next we're going to compare this guy to, took the wrong one off screen, to the Pro Series one, which again, I love so much, even though I don't know why it came with Sting, but okay. Maybe that means Pro Series Ace Dragon, who the heck knows. But there you go, there you have it. Cool stuff. Now, you know, it'd be funny, guys, if I actually, that part when I referenced Pro Series Ace Dragon, imagine my fellow Beyblade fans that they actually did that. That would be, as the cool kids say, pretty poogers, if they actually did it. So anyway, that has been my review. Let me grab the packaging real quick. Yeah. Of the Beyblade Burst Rise HyperSphere, Engaard E5, and Monster Ogre 05 Dual Pack. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bells. That way you guys get notified for all my uploads. Later, Reed Squad, and have a good one.